Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and my name is Vrushali. In today's video, we are going to be learning about how to get started with programming. So there are so many programming languages: Python, Java, C++, C, and if you're starting out, it can be very intimidating as a beginner to get started with programming. So in this video, I'm going to talk about it and share 5 simple ways that you can get started with programming without being overwhelmed. So the first step would be know your why. It will get you easier to get started, as if you know why you want to start programming, it will help you choose the language better. For example, if you want to build a website, you can choose HTML, CSS and JavaScript and go further on. If you want to build game, you can start learning Java and everything. But there could be an issue here that you don't know yet why do you want to learn programming. You want to just get started with programming as sort of a thing, and you're not really sure about what do you want to build later. So that's okay, that's completely fine. Then you can get started with with Python, C++ or Java. This Python is a very user friendly language. It helps you choose the almost like English, so it helps you getting started as a beginner easier. And there are so many projects you can get started building Python or C++ and Java. That'll help, but any programming language would do here. So the second step here would be that learn the basic syntax of the language. For example, if you've just started with programming, learn the basic syntax of the programming language, the data types, variable, data structures, and normal basic syntax of what are the variables and if else statement, and these, like, learn the very basic syntax of language. You can just get started with any YouTube video saying that how to get started with programming, and start learning with the basics of and the fundamentals of the programming language. The second step here would be that now that you've learned all the basics and the syntax, variables and basic syntax of the programming languages, all you can do is start building on very small projects. Like, you don't have to build a very huge website as you're getting started. If you've started with C++ or something else like that, you can just start making calculators or make a simple calculator which you can use to for addition or subtraction, or like find a prime number, programs like that, find your birthday and something like that. These are very basic syntaxes to get started when you're getting started with programming. The third step would be, now that you've learned fundamentals and you can build things using those fundamentals, the third step would be you can move on to DSA, learning data structures and algorithms. So for data structures and algorithms, you'll have many resources online in your preferred language. It will be easier for you to get started with data structures and algorithms in programming languages like C++ and Java than Python. Even though Python is a user-friendly language, it will get harder for you because there are so many things that are hidden in Python, the variable names and everything. The declaration is very simple and clear for you to understand, but like when it comes to DSA, these programming languages will help you a lot better than Python would. So when you're getting started with DSA, you can just research for the resources. I'll link some of the resources in the description below that I find are useful for you to keep going with DSA. And when you come to DSA, don't get really intimidated. There'll be a lot of people telling you that DSA is very hard and it will take you a lot of time, but just giving it a few amount of time throughout the day and learning your basic data structures, arrays, linked list and those things will help you learn the language far easier. And when you're done with every data structure, you can go on the website like Codeforces, LeetCode and CodeChef to solve the problems on the data structures you've learned today. For example, if you've learned array, you can go there and solve like 10 problems in the thing you've learned today, and that will help you a lot better. So once you're done with data structures and algorithms, it will take you a good amount of time to get done with data structures and algorithms. Then what you can do is start building some small projects. So now you've done with data structures and algorithms, or there are some programming languages that don't even require data structures and algorithms at the start. For example, if you get started with HTML and CSS, you can just build a small website that will help you a lot better. and side by side you can, like, while you're learning data structures and algorithms, you can keep on learning HTML, CSS, and this programming, and making small websites that will help you. And the fourth step would be, constantly don't constantly get into this loop of consumption. When you get started with programming, as you get that it's really hard, uh, first, before, when you're enthusiastic about it, it's gonna be like, yes, I'm gonna get started with programming and it's gonna be so great, like I'm gonna learn things so quickly. But as the process would pass on, it'll get a little harder for you to stick on, as it's just like a language you have to learn to build things and convey your ideas to a computer. So just like stick with it, and don't get in this loop of constant learning things, because if you keep on learning things and watching different tutorials, skipping from one tutorial to the other one, what will happen is, after a period of time, you'll realize that you've just been skipping on tutorials, you've just been building projects, but with the help of these tutorials, and that will get it really hard for you to build something for yourselves. So learn by doing rather than learning from all the tutorials. You can get started with the tutorials at the very basics, or like get started with books or podcasts. There are so many things you can get started with, but later on you should move on building your projects by yourselves, or like solving problems on the 3 websites I told you before. You can go there and just solve problems. Yeah, so that's it for today's videos, guys. I'm gonna be making a lot more videos about programming and opportunities, all those things you can have. I'm gonna be having a lot of guests. I have this podcast named Leader Space, and I'm gonna be having a lot of guests related to programming, internships, and all those things. So subscribe to my channel, share this video, and like this video. It helps me a lot to reaching out more people. Yeah, so thank you and bye bye.